Okay, hi everybody, it is me, Bunker 922. You know what time it is? um, as I said in the Magus Ancient Bride video, season 2, there is no Hell's Paradise episode. I guess they're taking the same juice as freaking Sunrise. Who knows? Anyway, there is no Hell's Paradise episode for this week, so I decided to talk about something else. This is going to be another Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, the Witch from Mercury discussion video. I will talk about other examples of this, but the word of the day is this: trauma. Trauma and PTSD moments. Now, you look at the original 0079, the original OG Mobile Suit Gundam. You look at Zeta, you look at Double Zeta. You even look at Counterattack. You can. This can be an example too. And you got Unicorn, and the list goes on. Now, I want to focus on other Gundam series that deal with trauma or PTSD moments for characters. They really only happen in certain ones. Like Wing, the Gundam team in that show, they don't really happen. Well, they do, but not to the extent that you have in the other shows. Then you have a show like Seed. Okay, it's in there, but it's a little different. Now, I wanted to focus on those three: the original, Zeta, Double Zeta. And trauma in those shows compared to The Witch from Mercury is like this. Those shows, people die. Death. They get traumatized and they have PTSD moments because of people dying. You look at Zeta, you look at Double Zeta, even the original. The original, there was, and it had like the ending climax scene with Amuro and Char, Lala. And it fits. Zeta and Double Zeta is when they went a little too far. And it got to the point where, holy shit, you're just trying to you're trying to really screw up the main character. The main character who's the Mobile Suit Gundam pilot. You're trying to make him have so many PTSD moments that he just can't get over it. An example of this is Kobyōbi Dan. We also have Judo, if I say his name there correctly, from Double Zeta. Judo's even worse. Anyone who's not seen it, take off the video right now because this is spoiler territory. Because a lot of the deaths in Double Zeta, one's a fake out death. That has to do with his sister, which isn't true, but you believe it is. And you can tell how it's affected him in the show. Same thing with Zeta. Fucking Camille lost his parents. They were killed. So it's that's how trauma and PTSD moments were established in Gundam. The reason for this is simple. It's a war. Titans versus Ayug. Ayug versus Neo Zeon. Almost said Neo Zeon. Regular Zeon in the beginning. 1 year war. So you see how it's developed. Now, I want to also focus on one specific trauma that has been established. Not in Zeta, in Double Zeta. For anyone who hasn't seen Double Zeta, there's this character called Plu. I can't see her whole name. It's ridiculous. So Plu is this character who is basically the pilot for the Quibbly. Quibbly was a mobile suit that utilizes funnels. Funnels are these things that come out of the mobile suit, and the pilot controls them, and they shoot lasers at the enemy. She was the pilot, and she fought Judo. Eventually, Judo was able to console her and get her on their side, to an extent. The villain, if you call him that, was this character named Glemmy. He made clones of Plu. A lot. Created his own new type army. The actions that Glemmy does in this series concerning Plu 2 and what he wants her to do and forcing her to fight and using her like a puppet is very reminiscent of what is currently going on in The Witch of Mercury. There's several differences here. Obviously, Glemmy is not related to Plu 2, and this is a war. But still, Plu 2 didn't have a choice. She's not given the choice to do what she wants. Now, this trauma that she goes through affects her greatly. To the point where I believe, I could be wrong here, but I believe she dies in the end. From, I guess, exhaustion or something. So, you see how that affects them. And how they don't know anything else except fighting. When you juxtapose this to Witch of Mercury, now it becomes clear. Everything that these people did to Suletta, that's what I'm getting to, can be considered reminiscent to Double Zeta. However, only one person, Prospera. Now, Glemmy didn't want revenge. He was more of an egomaniac. He wanted to take over Zeon and actually make it like the Zeon from the 1-Year War. But regardless of the fact, he was still using this person who he cloned for his own benefit and training her and manipulating her to the point where she ends up fighting and killing, and that's all she knows. So when you have a character like that, and she's very diabolical, versus a character like Suletta, you begin to ask yourself, okay, how can you move this character forward? Because now, it's not about death for Suletta, it's about identity. How she can live her life free when all she knows is that Gundam and her mother. This is the problem that I think this show is facing. You basically made a character like Plu 2. That is exactly what you did. This character is exactly like her. With some differences, obviously. But still, you've made this character like this, and now you're telling this character to go to school. She knows she's a clone. And this trauma is going to affect her a lot. To the point where you have to ask yourself, okay, you've done this, all this baggage, creators, to Suletta. And oh, by the way, I don't want to call them out on it, but I'm going to. You basically copy and paste Double Zeta. That is exactly what you did here. You took the exact same concept from Double Zeta, took it, copy and paste it to the Witch of Mercury, but instead of it being Zeon, it's a woman who loses her daughter and decides to clone her and put her in a mobile suit. Not as a pilot, but as whatever that was. Not only that, one of the clones you clone, you decide to make the actual pilot and use it to a point until, oh, okay, that's fine. That's it. It's highly irresponsible of Prospera to act this way. Now, I hope this trauma does not affect Suletta in a very bad way, because I think it's going to. I mean, you don't have to take long. Trauma is part of Gundam, but this kind of trauma is worse. I mean, you could move on from a death. You grieve, and it makes the character stronger, and they move on. But abandoning someone? Leaving them to float in space and say you're a clone? And you don't matter? That's, by the way, that's the fault of her actual daughter inside of Gundam saying that. That is the definition of ignorant stupidity among them. But those two. Mercury and Ghoul, they get a pass, in my opinion. Because they're pretty much in the same boat. Now, I do hope Prospera gets what's coming to her. Because these actions, they have dire consequences. And, you know, Gundam pilots find ways to get over trauma. But this kind of trauma is pretty severe. And I don't think it's going to take a while, I think. She just abandoned her and told her to go to school. So you're free. Yeah, but one little problem. She's not happy. She's never going to be happy. Because she was just abandoned by someone who was supposed to be her mother. You just pushed her aside. So if she decides to stop trusting people and not talking to people, that's on Prospera. But this is just, I figured I'd just get this off my chest about trauma and how it affects characters in Gundam. Most of the trauma is death, but this is the first time we're getting this kind of trauma. And it is unbelievable that you would do this to this child. Because if she turns out to be a lunatic psycho and steals a mobile suit and starts killing people, well then, the bun's on you. I don't want to say this, but I think the show's going to get dark because it's... But let me know what you guys think. Do you think these acts are going to have consequences? And what are your thoughts on trauma in Gundam? I personally think the death trauma, PTSD moments that Gundam characters have when people they know die and they have to get over it because of the war. But this kind of trauma is different. It's new territory for Gundam. We're talking about a mother abandoning her child. That's exactly what you did. And don't give me this crap. Oh, her child. No. We're not doing that. Okay, you basically, what you are, Prospera, is Frankenstein. You know? But, I figured this show, the way this is going, it's going to get darker. And, I know this video's going on long. I would suggest that I don't think Soletta's going to be the same. No, I think she's going to crawl up into a ball, and she might want to leave and just leave everyone, because everyone's deserted you, even though you're a parent, and you just found out you're not really her daughter. That's sick. Dudes, Sunrise, tone it down, man. This is some deep shit you're going into. And I just hope Prospera, like I said, gets what's coming to her. Because this kind of trauma is probably worse. You can grieve and get over a death. But this? It's something that lasts with you for the rest of your life. This is Bankai 922. Tomorrow's Suletta Sunday. It's a little slogan they got, Suletta Sunday. Let's hope the end of this series doesn't have Suletta being sad. Let's watch something happy. I'll see you guys later.